Hey guys, welcome back. We are starting what we call naming and formulating for ionic compounds, kind of building off what you guys learned yesterday. But we're actually going to start naming compounds. Now, this just takes a lot of practice and it's going to feel like you are just pounding the paper, but it'll pay off. Okay, so naming and formulating just to kind of talk, just some verbiage things. There's what we call single charged metals and multi-charged metals. Today we're going to focus on single charged metals, and you can look in the groups. One, they're all plus one. Group two, they're all plus two. Okay, group 13 is all plus three. And then if you also look too, there's some sprinkled kind of throughout the middle. Okay, so the verbiage is single charged, and then the other thing that you'll learn later next week is called multi-charged. And all multi-charged means is it could have more than one charge. All right, but single charge just means that it just has one charge to its element. Where can I find that on my periodic table? Well, group one is plus one. Now they don't have them in the box, okay? They're above the columns if they're in these three sections, alrighty? In the middle, that's where they're in the box if they're single charged or multi-charged, just because they're all so different, okay? So, like look at zinc. Zinc says plus two. That's a single charged metal, all right? What's another one? Uridium plus three, single charged metal. All right, just some verbiage for you. The multi-charged metals would be something like manganese. Right here, has got multiples, 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 multiples. Okay, so those four are what we call multi-charged metals. We'll learn how to name those later. There's a little trick, but right now we're focused on what we call single charge. The charge is always the same no matter what. Okay. Formula writing. All right. So this is just a worksheet. I would just do this on a scratch piece of paper. What you want to do is you want to have that worksheet, the notes up, and just kind of have that jotted down with this video. All right. So pause the video and open that up just so you can kind of get a feel as we go. But basically the rules are this. All right. We want to get the plus and the minuses equal to zero. Okay. So if they are, we just write it out. Okay, so M, which is just any metal, is represented by any metal. It's arbitrary, and X is represented by nonmetal. As you learned yesterday, an ionic bond is a metal and a nonmetal. Okay, the metal always comes first in the formula. So here's how we write it out. If M and X are equal, okay, we do this. We just go, oh, okay, M, X. No indication of anything. You just write it out. All right. But now we get to this little trick that we do. It's called crisscross. Okay, it's called crisscross. So when you have a charge and they're not equal, you do this: crisscross. All right. The only rule is this: you never write the one. All right. So I go M2X and I write as a subscript. Now, what does that do for me? If I put the 2 right there, that makes this plus 2. And then this is minus 2. They are now equal to 0. Cool? It's called crisscross rule. When the charges aren't equal to 0, crisscross them, and they'll get equal to 0 that way. So this is your final answer then. Alrighty. So let's keep going. I'll just do a bunch with you, and we'll just work on crisscrossing. Okay, so M1 plus 1, MX is minus 1. That's equal, so I can just write it out, MX. Alrighty. The next thing, these are not equal, so then I'm going to crisscross them. MX2. What does that do for me? If I put the 2 there, 2 times 1 is minus 2. Now they're equal. Okay, good so far. Let's do the next one. Okay, they're not equal. Crisscross. All right, so then it's going to be MX3. All right, if I put a 3 there, that makes it minus 3. Now they cancel out and they're equal to 0. Boom. Okay, we're rolling. Let's do this one. These are not equal to 0. So what I do? Crisscross. M2X. Okay. Go ahead and pause. See if you can do these two right here. Are they equal? They are, okay? They are equal. So we say mx plus 2 minus 2. That's good. Okay, are these equal? No, they are not. Criss cross m2 x 3. Okay, what does that do? That gets me to be a multiple, common multiple, 3 and 2. Okay, so that makes it plus 6. 3 times 2 makes it minus 6. Alrighty, doing good, everybody. Are they equal? Nope. Criss cross m3x. Go ahead and do these two right here. Okay, so we got m3 x2. Just crisscross the charges, that's all. And then are they equal? They are, so then we just write mx. Okay, so that's how you do the charge. Now how we're going to pertain that to actual elements is going to be shown on the next page. All right, so just write out the element symbols when you're given a name. Okay, write the charge above each element. We're going to crisscross and make sure they're equal to 0. All right, so sodium, I look at my periodic table, is Na, and chlorine is Cl. All right, sodium is a +1 charge, +1, and chlorine is a -1 charge. So you always got to find what the charge is. Okay, so sodium is Na +1, chlorine is -1. If they're equal, we just leave it be. Okay, so the final answer is NaCl, just like we did on the last page. No need to crisscross. All right, let's do a couple more. Oh, wrong. Barium bromide. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at my periodic table. Barium is Ba, it's a +2. And I always like to just, and bromine is a -1. Bromine, right here, is a -1. Okay, they're not equal, so what do? Criss-cross. Final answer, Ba, Br2. All right, let's do aluminum oxide. Aluminum is a +3 metal. Oxygen is a -2 nonmetal. Are they equal? They are not. Criss-cross. Al2O3. Bam. If I do that, that's going to give me the +6 and -6. All right. Why don't you pause the video here and do the rest on your piece of paper quick. Okay, so there's your answers. Why don't you check them? CS3PGA2O3, NAF, and AG2O. Okay, so that's how we do formula writing. Big deal is make sure the charges cancel out and you're good to go. All right, so now we're gonna go the other way. We're gonna write the names. All right, and this is actually easier. Okay, just write out the element names. Don't state how many of the atoms and add the suffix "ide" to the end of the nonmetal. Now the nonmetal is right there. Okay, so when I do this, I just have to look it up. Sodium, that's the metal, and then the nonmetal is chlorine. So chlorine, but it says add the suffix "ide" instead of that. So I'm going to change this to chloride. And that's what we call it, sodium chloride. So that just means it's an ionic bond. Alrighty, that's it. Okay, there's no fanciness to this thing. You just literally have to, all you have to do is just write it out. Okay, so this one sodium from my periodic table, and bromine. Sodium, bromide. Not bromine, bromide. The next one, potassium, chloride. Cool. Okay. Sodium and fluorine. Sodium, fluoride. Add the suffix "ide." Okay, now we said we don't care about how many of each atom, just write it out. So calcium, nitride. And this will come, it's nitrogen, but it'll come easy when you look at it like, oh, just drop the ending and get close. We're not super picky. Okay, pause the video, see if you can do the next 4. Okay, check your answers. Beryllium oxide. So oxygen goes to oxide. Magnesium fluoride. Strontium sulfide. Beryllium nitride. In summary, remember, just write out the elements' names, metal, non-metal. Don't state how many of an atom. We don't need like 2 chloride. We just need just the name and add the suffix "ide." Okay? So now you are going to complete this 6 problems on your own. Let's just see how you can do. Okay? It's step 3 in your lesson. Now, 2 things. Okay? You can write it out on a piece of paper, take a picture and submit it, or you can enter them yourself. And let me just tell you how to do the formula subscript. All right, if you want to do a subscript on the computer, all right, there's a shortcut. And to do this, okay, because we don't want you just to type in. So we don't want you just to type in CAF2 like that. We want it to look like this. And how I do this is I go CAF and I can go control comma, gets me to subscript 2 like that. And then control comma will get me up out of it. So if I wanted to do, instead of making it look like this, AL203, you can make it look like AL control comma 2 O control comma 3. All right, so that's the fast way to do subscripts. All right, so that's it, guys. That's 6 questions there for you. That's all you got to do. Turn it in when you're done. You just finished your first naming lesson. So good job.